38 acres up in Green River Valley, Utah. This is a really special property just north of Moab area. My name is Miles McLaughlin here at Wilco Land. In this video, I'm going to break down this land investment that we have. Like I said, one of our favorite properties that we've ever had in our portfolio. I'm going to talk about a lot of common questions and FAQs. My business partner has been out here a couple times. I've got some really great photos from him that I can share with you exactly where he was on the property. I'll show all that to you on maps, right? So you can take a look at it. But these are photos from the property. I mean, this is a world class location. You're sitting here in a canyon. There's just nothing comparable to it, right? You can buy a lot of stuff out in the desert, middle of nowhere, in Utah, but this is going to be a special land investment. You got the Book Cliffs in your backyard. You got Swayze beach and boat launch walking distance away from the property. So you've got public access to the Green River on a beach and a boat launch within walking distance to your property. It really is a magnificent land investment, something special, and we're really happy to have on our website. So sit back for a couple minutes. I'm going to talk about this property a little bit more, teach you about the area and what I know about it, and share some of the photos that we have from the ground to show you exactly where they were taken. So there is more to this property than what meets the eye. We are advertising 38 acres right now. However, we are going through a minor subdivision process to create 3 12-acre properties. We have applied for water rights, received some water rights on this property. We've had perk tests on the property that have all come back successful. So I'm going to break down some of that we've done to this property. There's a lot that goes into it. And here's Swayze's boat ramp. Like I said, just right down the block. And there's a beach too. So I'll look that up. I'll Google it. I'll show you guys all the plat maps, everything we got through the property. There is a finger. It's typically dry except during monsoon season, to my understanding. But a finger of the Green River does run through this property, as you can see here on satellite maps. So there is a finger of the Green River that runs through the property, and I will touch on that too. Here's a good satellite image of the property. Your backyard is cliffs. It's the Book Cliffs. It's a special area. You know, everything in your backyard is going to be BLM land. Nobody's building, nobody's developing by you, right? It's a cool spot. And I'll pull up Swayze's Beach, Utah, and we can see some photos of that too. So there's probably some images here we can look at, but you know, this beach is right out your front doorstep. It's really something cool. This is a hidden gem for those that live in Moab. This area is really going to grow. And it is one of those hidden gems that people want to be in Moab, but you have this sweet little beach in the canyon up in Green River. It's really a cool location in front of this property. So I'll talk about it a little bit more on a map, but you know, let's go through the location of this property as a starting point. I also want to kick it off with a quick disclaimer. This isn't legal advice. This isn't real estate advice. This is me sharing my thoughts and opinions on the property through my own due diligence and through what I know and my experience in the industry. You as a buyer ultimately need to conduct your own due diligence and make sure the property is going to be the right fit for you. All of our land is sold as is here. So diving into this land investment, you can see here Swayze's Beach right here. I can click into that again. You can see all the photos that Google has on it, right? This is walking distance from the property. You build out here, you're walking down to the beach, you're accessing the beach. You've got to put in, there's a boat ramp right here. So, I mean, like I said, it's hard to put into words. When you get properties like this, they're so unique, they're so different. Things like this just don't hit the market. These are legacy land investments. These are rare land investments. You just don't see these type of things hit the market. So here's Green River, Utah, right off I-90 outside of Thompson Springs. Here's Moab, Utah. You're about an hour from Moab at most to get up to this property. Your drive-in is pretty cool too. I think I can hop on Street Views and we can get really close to the property, but this whole road driving in is sweet. Look at that. I mean, you know, you're sitting in here in this canyon. And it's just world class. Your view from looking from our property is of this monument right here. So, you know, what else makes this property unique is the topography. There's all this flat space over on the west side of the road over here. These are cliffs. You can see the topography here behind it. But like my partner has gone into this little riverbed, right? And that's probably seasonal runoff, but we can see these photos that have been taken. I mean, this is during the fall. It's going to be beautiful. When we're talking about land in the desert, land in Utah, what makes this property special is the vegetation, the trees, the colors, the things you're getting being this close to the Green River like that. Here's another photo just right from our property. Okay. This is sitting down here really close to that dry riverbed. You can see Onyx is actually tracking where all these photos were taken. So another photo directly off our property. Let's take a look. I'm going to click through a few more just to show you guys what we're looking at here. Zoom in and see if I can find some more. So this is a trail, like I said, my business partner took. He's been out to this property a few times. As I mentioned, we're actually working with the county to do a minor subdivision, which would create 3 legal lots here. I believe it's 2 12-acre lots, and it would come out to about another 12-acre after that, or in that range. So just wanted to show you, I'll catch you up on the subdivision process. Again, another view from the property. There's a ton of flat space, whether you're looking to use a property for recreation or something to build on. We've had 3 perk holes dug on the property, and all 3 perked. Right? So we've had test pits on the property, completed perk tests that we're submitting to the county for the subdivision. It's going to take months. It's going to take time. We're open to selling the property as it stands today. But we'll be leaving some money on the table. So, we are open to getting a deal done. We understand the value. Time is money too. And so, the subdivision process just takes time. We're in the middle of it right now. We're open to selling it. We can hand off the septic designer that we used, the surveyor we've been using, all the documents that we have. We can hand that off to the next person if they are interested in pursuing splitting this property up, which would add a ton of value. And the county's expressed motivation or interest in doing that as well. So everything's checking out in a positive way in terms of splitting this property up for us. So this gives us a good look at what this property is, right? You've got a finger of the Green River running through it. You can see the BLM land backs up to the majority of your property is BLM land. To the north of you is BLM land. To the east of you, to the south of you, everything but one side of your property is adjacent to BLM land, right? And you've got access to the boat launch. Right here's Swayze's boat launch. The beach is right here too. So like I said, you walk out your front doorstep, you just cruise down this little road, and you've got access to the beach and the boat ramp, right? On the Green River. Really, really a cool feature to this property. Really cool feature to this property. So let's get back into talking about the land a little bit more. So that's my favorite app for land viewings. For those of you who want to go visit, just simply use the GPS coordinates. Even if you don't know how to use Onyx Maps, if I just plug the GPS coordinates into Onyx Maps right off of our website, it's going to take me right in front of our property up here on Beach Road. And there's street views actually from right here in front of the property too, which is pretty cool. So, look for natural features in the landscape if you're not sure how to use Onyx Maps. But let's dive into the subdivision that I've been talking about. So let's zoom out a little bit of this listing and let's talk about this. So we are in the process of splitting this into 3 new properties. So I want to show you the plat map here. You can see the plat map. The first property is going to be lot 3. Okay. So, the surveyor, like I said, this is all cliffed out. The county mentioned, hey, why don't you make 6 properties and make all 3 of these part of lot 3, part of lot 2, part of lot 1. So this is one full lot. They were saying, hey, why don't you have the road split the lots and make 2 lots on each side of the road? We wanted to go the simple route. This is going to actually total this first one. It's 7.9 acres of flat usable area down here on the west side of the road, I believe is what that is. And then on the east side of the road is the Book Cliffs. Can you develop there? Who am I to say no to that? But it's going to require some dirt work and building into that rock. And that's another 4 something areas. He put non-development area. That's just his suggestion, right? There's no rule book that says you can't develop there. It's just going to be challenging based on the topography and based on the hard rock and stuff like that, right? Again, that's what each side is. You're backed up to BLM land. It's a really nice feature to have nobody behind you. So, and then this first lot that we're talking about here, it's going to total about 12 acres, but you've got about 4 acres here. There's a public utility easement that runs along the road, right? That's Hastings Road, Beach Road. This other one is another 7 acres. So these first 2 properties are very, very similar. This last property is going to be a little bit smaller, lot 1. That's going to be the final makeup. This isn't officially split. We've had the surveys done. We've had a perk test done on all 3 properties. I'll talk about that here in a second as well. So here's the subdivision feasibility. Let's see here if I can find. So this is from the septic designer, the septic engineer. Okay, and this is all posted on the website, but you can see where the test pits are. Test pit 1 on the first property, test pit 2 on the second property, test pit 3 on the third property. And you can look at the survey map and see that there's a public utility easement that runs along the road. So running utilities to the property should be no issue either, right? We can see that here, this dotted line, 10 foot public utility easement running along Hastings Road, right there between the properties. Water rights, this should be officially, we're past the review process. We're past the objection process. Everything's been marked in approval. We should have this water right officially allocated to this property by June is what I'm thinking. But you can look into the water rights right here for Wilco Land LLC, underground water well, 10 miles north of Green River. You can read more about it. Okay. So this is pretty standard stuff. This 38 acres is going to come with a water right. When we do the subdivision process, we're either going to do a shared well or get a water right for each individual property. That's just something that goes through with that subdivision process. But if this property is sold as it is today, it should have a water right by the time you acquire ownership of that property. So again, 38 acres out here in Grand County, Utah. For those looking to go view the property, simply use the GPS coordinates that we've got posted in the website listing link down here at the bottom. Right? You can plug those into Google Maps. You can plug them into Onyx Maps. Any GIS map is going to take you out there, Land Glide and things like that too. So, like I said, really excited to roll this property out with you today. If you do have questions, just get with me. You can reach me here at 605-299-5553. Like I said, our drone photos do a really good job of showing the property, really good job of showing you what you're buying and where you're going to be at. So, like I said, really a special location. You just don't see these listings on the market that much. They are truly legacy land investments that come up few and far between. If you're interested in other deals in Utah, take a peek at our home page. I do have more land in the state of Utah and really all over the Western United States. Our business is buying and selling land, focusing on what we like to consider unique and epic properties. So take a peek. We've got property behind Zion National Park in Kane County, Utah, some stuff out by Bryce Canyon in the Hatch area. And again, we've got this property north of Moab on the Green River there. So, or not on the Green River, but there's a finger of the Green River that runs through it. Like I said, it's kind of a dry riverbed. We should change that and probably take off that riverfront aspect of it, because it's not true riverfront property on the Green River, but you've got the finger running through it. You can walk down to public access right out your front doorstep. So like I said, really cool land investment that checks out, ready for development, ready for recreation, or ready as a pure investment or development opportunity for somebody willing to take on where we left off. So thanks for tuning in. Hope to hear from you soon.